Welcome everybody, Death by Horror, another episode. Today we will be talking about Tourist Trap. Why Tourist Trap? Because I'm still devastated on Tanya Roberts' death, so I thought I would talk about one of her classic movies from 1979. And also, too, it is today's 42nd anniversary of Tourist Trap. I got my boy over here. His name is Chris. I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing my other friends because they're constantly here. So I brought somebody in. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be the one that's drinking today, but it's all good.
I gotta drive.
Yeah, he has to drive and crash, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is. So, like I said, this movie was made in 1979. Directed by David Schmoller. I believe that's how you say his last name. If not, I'm sorry. So, just like every other video, we try to keep it respectful towards you, but not with us, right? So, and we ask what we like, dislike, what could have been better, some hidden messages. We talk about our favorite scenes, yada yada yada. You already know the drill, right? So, Chris, tell me what you like and dislike about the movie.
For me personally, I'll be honest. I discovered this just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really. I knew Tanya Roberts. Obviously, most people know her from that '70s show.
Right.
She was in Charlie's Angels. What was it, Beastmaster? I think. And so yeah, I discovered this one. I'm like, oh crap, she's in it. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And it turns out, I ended up liking just the whole vibe of the movie. It has a real right off the bat. You get the music sets the tone.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, you get this real creepy, just overall atmosphere with this movie right off the bat, first frame. So yeah, I fell in love with it. I'm like, holy crap, what is this? And then, I don't know if you want to go into the the plot and stuff. You want to?
I don't want to kill it for most of the viewers. Some of it is going to be spoiler considering that it's a movie review.
Yeah, spoiler review.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about my favorite death scene.
Okay.
Which is actually the first one with Woody.
Okay.
And that's because it was the creepiest death scene throughout the whole movie. The whole movie is cheesy but creepy. It's very suspenseful.
It's good cheesy though.
Yeah, it is good cheesy. It sets the tone on what's going on, but it still leaves you in suspense and mystery. What the hell's still going on? You know what's going on, but you're still wondering what's going on. It's weird like that.
Oh no, the first time I saw it, I was that first kill. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Right. So the first kill, is that he gets trapped in the door, and then all these dummies starts popping out, and then there was one dummy in particular that just kept on rocking back and forth. But the creepiest part about it was the laughing.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And then there was this closet that just opened up on its own, and then it started throwing objects at Woody, which is one of the characters that dies. And at first it was just child's play, right? They're messing with him, throwing glass, pipes, whatever the case is, and all this is still happening while the dummy is moving back and forth and laughing, and not till the very end where you see a pipe kind of wobbling, and then it just shoots him on the lower back and it kills him right there and then.
Yeah, so it, like I said, it pretty much sets the tone. The music in that scene as well, because the dude is I think, if I remember correctly, he had a tire with him, so obviously they're having car trouble or some sort. He goes up, and that's when that scene starts happening, and it's just weird because first it's a really unique slasher film. Let me add, it's PG actually, which is rare. When do you see a PG slasher film? You know what I mean?
Also a bit supernatural-ish.
Yeah, and then so that's kind of weird in itself. So I when I saw that scene, that first kill, I'm like, what did I just watch? There was, the guy just got killed, but there's no person with a knife. There's nothing.
Right.
So right off the bat, you're like, okay, I'm into this.
Right.
I want to find out what happens.
Exactly. I know when you go to the movies, they tell you got 10 to 15 minutes to watch the film to decide whether you hate it to go get your money back.
There you go.
5 minutes into this movie, I'm already sold.
Oh, I'm invested as hell.
Yeah. I'm already good to go. And they talk about, you mentioned the tire scene.
Right.
And I don't want to get too far ahead, but it seems to be that's how it always happens, and I'll get to that a little further into the movie. But before that, I want to know what else you like about the movie. Talk about some more scenes. if you remember.
Tanya Roberts.
Tanya Roberts?
Tanya Roberts.
What about her?
Have you seen she's in?
Huh?
Have you seen she's in?
So she's just hot.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. No. I mean, I do enjoy the plot. With I don't know if you want to introduce Mr. Slauson yet, or.
Oh, not yet. But.
Okay. Well, I just pretty much I know people. Not me. I don't. But I know some people do have a fear of like mannequins and dolls and stuff like that. So if you're one of those people, this movie is either gonna be for you or it's just not.
Also, too, watching this movie was it kind of gave me the House of Wax feel to it as well. You know, you see mannequins, but their eyes are still moving.
Yeah.
Right, and he's making people, into mannequins. So, I am actually gonna introduce Mr. Slauson. You got a little ahead of me, but it's fine.
It's all good.
Anyways, right off the bat, you could tell something is off as soon as Mr. Slauson appears, because he just appears while they're all skinny dipping, and he just shows up with a shotgun and just starts talking to them as if it's normal.
That's not a red flag, right?
Yeah.
So like, come on.
And then it's kind of funny because made back in the 70s, they're still being formal, even naked in this pond of dirty water, right? They're saying, "Oh, sorry, sir." And it's
I did find that part a little weird. I'm like, nah, I'm sorry. Like, if someone comes up to me, you know what I mean? Like, you're skinny dipping with your friends, and then some random dude, especially with a gun, like
with a shotgun.
Yeah, like I'm not just gonna be like, oh hey, what's up?
And he just started talking about property and how the government took it away and how he would charge 75 cents a person to be in the pond or whatever, or a lake, whatever the case is.
So basically, where they were at, it used to be a tourist attraction, like this huge tourist attraction, and they ended up. What happened was, if I remember correctly, again. Correct me if I'm wrong. They created a new highway,
right?
And so that took away his business. So yeah,
that's what he was blabbing about.
Yeah,
you know. And then so you know, he would tell them he took them to his house, and that's when they saw a bunch of, or his shop at first, and then outside the shop was his house.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me, to be honest, of like kind of like Bates Motel. They got the Bates Motel, and then you got like the actual house in the back.
Yeah, good reference.
That's kind of like the vibes I got from that.
Right. Then he tells them stay here, but one of them goes off wandering around, and then of course she dies. You know, looking for Woody, because nobody knows what really happened to Woody. You know. And Mr. Slauson is saying, like, he's telling a story how he has a brother and that how he made all these mannequins, and he's also very good with mechanics. So these mannequins are moving, which, again, this is the mystery part, because this movie is all about Mr. Slauson able to move things with his mind, not just mannequins. So when he first introduced these. I don't want to say kids, but these young adults.
Let's say that's fair.
Yeah, these young adults to his shop. He started having these mechanicals moving around, kind of like putting on a show. But it makes me wonder: did he press a button to operate that, or did he do that all with his mind to trick him?
Yeah, this movie pretty much alludes to that. He basically essentially has like telekinetic powers.
Right. So he goes, I'm gonna go outside. He starts wandering. One of them starts wandering off, and of course she dies. And same way, just like Woody, she gets played with by all these mannequins. Eyes are moving, and then she just ends up dying, which I thought it was really awesome. Her death was pretty cool. All these death scenes in this movie are very unique, to be honest with you.
I will agree with that. Yeah, it's also, I mean, it's not only unique in the fact that it's a freaking PG-13 like slasher /
especially for its era, like.
Oh yeah, definitely. You didn't. At least I don't think people really got that back then. So that was made it unique in some way.
Right. So which leads me to my other questions. What didn't you like about the movie, or what could have been done better? In your opinion?
What could have been done better? I think in certain parts it's maybe a little slow. I think they could have just cut a scene here and there to kind of keep the pace a little more consistent. But I mean, for me, since I've seen the movie like multiple times now, so I already know what's gonna happen. I love it regardless, you know. But yeah, those are like, you know, if I'm being nitpicky, I guess I would take out a few kind of dialogue, a little extra dialogue scenes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. What I didn't like about it, to be honest with you, was Tanya Roberts' death. Like, she gets an axe, right to her neck, I believe.
Yeah.
Or was it her spine?
I think it was her. Yeah, like right in the back.
Right in the neck, because that's how Mr. Slauson died too. Right.
Right.
So, anyways, Tanya Roberts dies. She gets hit. But that kind of bothered me because throughout the whole movie, they were focused on her, and I was always wondering why. And then there was this another character. I think her name was Holly, and then it hit me because he took her in hostage, put her on the bed, and then he made her say, "Love me, love me," and it's because she reminded him of his dead wife. And that's why he kept her. That's why he was trying to keep her alive.
Right.
But I would have liked it better if Tanya Roberts was the reminder of the wife, since they focused on her so much.
I gotta agree with that. Yeah, the first time I saw it, I honestly thought Tanya Roberts was gonna be the final girl.
Right.
So when that scene does happen, you know, the way it plays out, and she dies, I'm like, holy crap! What the fuck? Like.
Yeah.
What? No.
I know. Right? So I didn't like that, but then again, Holly was wandering off. She was getting away with a lot of things, and there's something that I did research today that a lot of people may not know. We all know who Lena Quigley is, right? Very famous for Demons of the Night.
No, Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons. Silent Night, Deadly Night. She's been
Return of the Living Dead, especially.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah, exactly. She's actually in this movie. They used her as a mannequin. So if you guys didn't know that, now you do. And Holly was running away from that certain particular mannequin, and then Holly gets caught, and then at some point when she wakes up, or she's not waking up because she just gets out of the bed, but that's because Mr. Slauson put his guard down. By that, he was dancing around with a woman mannequin, and then there was like these strange visions, right?
Yeah.
Where the mannequin was actual human. There was kids coming out of the dark.
Yeah, that shit creeped me out. I won't lie.
Yeah,
like
it's a creepy movie.
Like, I ain't afraid of mannequins, but just the way that scene is shot, the music, everything just flowing together good.
Right.
I'm like, fuck that. If that were me, I'd be like, no, like, if that were me, first chance I get, boom, I'm out the fucking door.
And then she picks up the axe and hits Mr. Slauson on the side of the neck. And I know that for a fact. I know I'm a little confused on. I forget a little bit how Tanya Roberts' character died, so I apologize for that.
I'm pretty sure it was to the
neck. Yeah, I think so. But Holly does pick up the axe that's next to her, hits Mr. Slauson on the neck, and that's how he dies. Now I want to just go a little further back. Mr. Slauson talks about his brother a lot, and he was basically portraying his brother as the killer. At some point, he was saying, like, "Come with me. It's my brother that's doing this. I know what's going on. Yada yada yada." But the whole time, it's actually this guy pretending to be the younger brother when he puts on the mask and starts killing people. And then he lets them all know, no, it's actually me. Blah blah blah. And then, interesting enough, there's a reason why his brother and his wife isn't in the picture. Do you remember that reason?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, guys. He killed both of them. Mr. Slauson killed both his brother and wife. Why? Because his wife was cheating on him with his brother, so he had to kill them both. I agree. Just, you know.
I love the way you just flat out. I agree.
I agree. I mean,
fuck
hey,
it, let's be honest.
You know, like.
I mean, I agree. I agree too.
You agree too.
Right? But I mean, damn.
I'm gonna let you carry on.
It was a fit of rage, heat of passion type of thing. So yeah, he ends up straight up admitting he killed his wife and the brother. But he admits he didn't want to do it, but he had to. He lost control of himself, and shit happens. And oh, by the way, when he wears the mask, it's this creepy fucker right here. And you guys can see with the glare, but yeah, pretty one of the more creepier masks for me personally.
No, yeah, definitely. They're very realistic, but they're masked. It's creepy. Very good detailed work. What else do I want to point out? There was a couple more things. Damn, this sucks.
Floor is yours. Go for it.
Oh, I just wanted to talk about there was a guy in the mix. I forgot his name, but he was trying to be the hero, and what this was actually one of the most disturbing scenes, because when Holly sees him, she goes, "Kill him, kill Mr. Slauson," and he goes, "You can't kill me," or he goes, because he started talking to Sarah, saying like, "Oh, I don't want to have to hurt you." Out of nowhere, this guy's walking around like a human, and then Mr. Slauson just rips off his arm, and then he takes off his head like a mannequin. So this person literally went from being human to a mannequin in a split second.
Yet another scene that creeped me out. I had to rewind that, because at first, the very first watch I ever gave it, I saw it and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, no,
like,
for real.
I had to rewind. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
So we're coming to the conclusion, guys. When Holly is the one that escapes throughout the whole thing, of course there is one survivor,
right?
But she takes all her friends who were mannequins, and then she puts them in the car and starts driving. And then at the end of the movie, it pauses, shows her driving with her friends being mannequins. What's the creepiest part about that is that she has a smirk on her face. So maybe that whole experience messed her up psychologically.
Yeah.
Does she obtain that power somehow now? What's the case?
Right. It almost reminded me of a little bit of how Sally at the end of Texas Chainsaw fucking just goes crazy. Like Leatherface is like waving the chainsaw around, and she's like freaking out, laughing hysterically and shit. I was like, I kind of got that vibe, even though she didn't laugh, obviously. But
right.
Just that little smirk. I was like,
yeah, she was like,
okay,
hey, cool, I got my friends, and
right,
like as if nothing happened.
She's like, I'm dipping, like nothing.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it and why?
Shit.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to give it, if I'm being honest, take off a little points for like what I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so maybe give it like a solid 8, just for the fact I would honestly recommend this to a lot of people. Like, I know this is definitely not one of those movies where every single horror fan you run into has heard about it. It's not it's not Halloween, it's not Friday the 13th, it's not everyone at a horror convention is gonna like know about this movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And by the way, that is very frustrating. If you call yourself a horror fan and all you know is the main slashers, just stop.
Right.
Please.
But no, yeah. Honestly, I'd have to give it a solid, at least an 8 out of 10. Just for, like I said, it's unique. It's a PG slasher, which you don't really see. You know what I mean? You get the watered down PG-13 crap now, but
Yeah.
This is like, honestly, some scenes had me like, how the hell was this not like R-rated? I mean, granted, there's no blood. There's not a lot of blood. There's a little bit here and there, but not a lot. So I could see why it's PG. But just for that, the unique, the plot, the supernatural elements to it. So yeah, I would highly recommend this film to a lot of my horror buddies.
Awesome. Before I give it a rating, there's one more scene that I wanted to talk about, which brought me earlier, which I was thinking about, and I had a block in my head. When they all got caught and they were in the basement tied up, there was a woman that was there prior to them getting caught, right? And then this is when I was saying about the tire being blown out, because she had the same story. Our tire blown out, and then we went to go get gas or find some help, and then she got caught, and then she says, we're all gonna die, he's gonna turn us into these mannequins. And she was right. Like, she had already been there for a good amount of time to know what was gonna go on, to what's gonna happen. And I thought it was pretty messed up, because he already started putting stuff on her face to turn her into that mannequin.
Right.
And
that was a creepy fucking scene.
That was a creepy scene. Yeah. And at first you would think too, like, oh shit, that's the younger brother.
Right.
not knowing that Mr. Slauson was acting both the older and younger brother because he was playing both roles.
I did like.
He played it very well.
Fuck yeah, I did like the one scene before we. I did like the one scene where he's like talking to, I believe it was Holly if I remember correctly, and then he gets out of frame, and then like just a few seconds later comes back as the brother.
Yeah.
With the man, I thought that shit was crazy. And then, well, I also have to mention the voice that he puts on, like as the brother.
It's like Batman.
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
like,
disguise his voice.
It's like, yeah, but it's just creepy as shit. It's like, like, you know, like what the.
There was one really, really funny scene in here though, which I couldn't stop laughing.
Which one was
it? It's when Mr. Slauson.
Right.
He was being Mr. Slauson himself, but he was talking to the mannequin as if it's his younger brother, and he says, "Eat your soup," and then he was portraying both voices, talking back and forth.
Okay.
And he was like, "You want some crackers? This is some good crackers." I'm like, "That's what I just said." So that scene was really, really funny.
So
I
you
thought it
know
was
he's
hilarious.
not all there.
Yeah, he's
clearly.
not all there. But he was also mentioning about how when he was a younger brother, how his older brother didn't like the powers. He didn't like how he was moving things with his mind.
Right.
But again, it was all him. So maybe he just didn't know how to control it at the time, and yada yada yada. But we don't really know. So the last thing is the rating, of course, which I want to give it is I want to give it a solid. You know what? Not even a solid, because I want to give it a 9.5. 9.5. Yeah. Hands down, the creepiest, cheesiest movie I've ever seen, and I can't stop not watching it. I can continue watching this all the time. And the first time I seen this movie was back in 2008, and it was made in 1979. So again, guys, today does mark the 42nd anniversary of Tourist Trap. Look it up, get it on DVD. I recommend it better on DVD than Blu-ray.
Yes.
You know, I'm not a big Blu-ray fan for any 70s or 80s horror movie if they're shot in the dark. You know,
you see a lot of things you don't want to see, pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of things are supposed to be a mystery, and then on Blu-ray you can take
see
the mystery away.
everything. Like, it's like I don't want to see that.
Don't get me wrong. On a big screen, Blu-ray does look nice, but if you want the full effect of the movie itself, just go DVD.
Pretty much the way it was meant to be seen back then. So, I mean, I freaking love this movie. I was actually lucky enough to meet Tanya Roberts last year at the Hollywood show. Before it was like a month or something before COVID even hit. You know, this whole pandemic crap.
Oh, so you met her recently, like last year?
Yeah, last year.
Nice.
I was right before she passed, and it was I was lucky enough. You know, most people I know were probably getting like that '70s show or Charlie's Angels or whatnot. Nah, I got this freaking poster signed.
No, as you should.
Yeah, I was so freaking happy. I was like, oh, so glad I did.
Awesome. All right, guys, that will be the end of it. I'm Death by Horror. My friend Chris over here.
Weapon X 1990 on YouTube.
That's right. Follow him. And if you guys want any more horror reviews, just let us know, because we both love horror. That's why we're friends. Unfortunately.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Go turn it off.
Bitch. No.
Bitch.